Well, certainly your scientifics will look out there and they will see this large belt between Mars and Jupiter, and they know that according to Bode's law, the law of proportion, that there, quote, should be a planet there. And there isn't a planet there, but there's the shattered remains of a planet that you have called the asteroid belt and named all these objects and given them a new life, so to speak. If it is possible to blow up a planet, it is certainly possible to, let's say, destroy life forms on this planet, Earth, with various forms of technology. We will say to you that beings from Mars used to come to Earth to hunt dinosaurs. It was a great fascination, a great attraction. Today people think nothing of going to Alaska to hunt moose or grizzlies, yes? Yes?
Yes.
So let's say, it is the same old sort of thing, different outfits, wardrobes and characters. So let's say, John, that there have been asteroid strikes or meteor strikes to the planet, and certainly there's evidence in the Yucatan area. Recently there's evidence in the Tsanga area of, we believe, Soviet Union, etc. But the dinosaurs were part and parcel of their destruction, was not simply an anomalous strike that then put up all sorts of things in the atmosphere. The dinosaurs cohabitated Earth with living beings, let's say like you, and the dinosaurs lasted far beyond 65 million years ago. In other words, they were not all wiped out. There's evidence in various parts of the world that the dinosaurs were here up until recent times, very recent times. There's evidence that people who cohabitated with dinosaurs, used the dinosaurs, rode them, fought them, and the people who existed at the same time as the dinosaurs were in some ways as sophisticated as you are. They were capable of, let's say, understanding the body, doing medical procedures, heart transplants, these kinds of things. So, and when you are talking about dinosaurs, there's also a pattern and a link to the giant race as well. There are stories that, there are stories from a long time ago that massive beings were on this planet. Vehicle came across something recently from quote from the Book of Enoch, a book that is not recognized as officially part of the Bible, so to speak. It is what is called epigrapha. Is it epigrapha? Apocryphal literature. And there's a reference there in this Book of Enoch to giants being 450 feet in height. What kind of world was this then? Why does it change? You are really the little itsy-bitsy people compared to that. And of course, let's say there's many things in the historical records that show not even that long ago, a few thousand years ago, that much of the animals, camels and horses and buffalo, bison, all these things were much larger. And of course, if you have very large beings, you are going to have a much larger, let's say, flora and fauna to support the larger lifestyles. Who is it?
My name is Pauline.
Pauline?
It's just a question that I've had from a revelation that I've heard about a so-called spaceship sighting on October the 14th, projected sighting on Tuesday, October the 14th.
Again, from the realm of spirit that we operate in, we ourselves would never commit to, all right, on this date, this is going to transpire. Usually when you hear, on this date, this is going to transpire, Nothing happens. Do you know how many times? You don't, but we'll tell you. Hundreds of times people have come up to our vehicle over the years and said, you know, this is going to happen on this date, and this is going to happen. And remember, John, when we were visiting you in Ireland there not so long ago in Killarney, people revved up about what was going to happen in Mongolia on a certain date. Remember that?
Yes.
What happened? Zip, zero, nada. And then what does this do to people? It's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Yes, let's look forward to it. And then, we're not in that probability. It didn't happen. And then what? Sometimes these are forms of psychological warfare to get people all revved up about something, and then when it doesn't happen, they shut down. They say, oh, bunch of malarkey, because they really believed it. And then their spirit is disappointed, and then they become jaded. Psychological warfare, remember, is used to jam your frequencies. Psychological warfare is not necessarily having its genesis in military complexes or even governmental complexes. Psychological warfare can happen from the spirit realm, because there are plenty of non-physical beings who are, let's say in just basic terms, they are no goodniks. They do not have your higher interest at heart. They may not just be confused discarnates, and that is the most common thing. They may be really mischievous or evil discarnates who are employed in a hierarchy to create problems. And so from the other realms, they may influence physical beings and give them information, and the physical beings may be so flattered that something is speaking to them, that this is a way of mucking up people's minds. Do we see anything happening on October 14th? Not specifically, no. We cannot give you dates, but we will say this, that an intervention between the activity of other dimensions that are just next door to you, that you can't see, and your dimension of physicality is long overdue. And there will be a time when there will be collectives of people who will start to see things that come between the dimensions. But there also will be collectives of people, like in Mexico, for example, who say, wow, look at these ships, they're passing over, these armadas, etc., etc., etc. Well, why would the people in Mexico see things that people in the rest of the world do not? Is it their perceptions, or is it literally military psychological warfare?